Hello! Hello, hello, hello. Oh, it's good to be back and it's good to see you all here. I hope you're well. Hello to my Twitch hobby fam and to my Instagram hobby fam. Hi, Dale Perry. Hope you're doing well. But we're back for the start of a brand new week. Hi, Bully. Brand new week of streaming. And we are back with the return of Massive Mondays. Hi, Bathin. It's great to see everyone here. This is fantastic. So yes, last week we finished off Vashtar the Arcaphane. So this week, because the model I wanted to work on, I literally only just got printed yesterday. Still needs assembling, still needs priming and all that. So that's stuff I'm going to be doing like probably during the week. And not something I'm going to be worrying about right now. Means that we get to finish off the Mortek crawler that I was doing about a week or two ago for the Age of Sigmar event that I was in. So that'll be today's job. And we're just going to have a nice chill time of it. Don't really have anything to announce. Although I do want to give a big thank you to Herbalist13 for the follow outside of the stream. That was greatly appreciated of you. I know she's kind of making waves at the moment in the hobby community, which is fantastic to see. Always good to see some new blood. Yeah. As I say, don't really have much to announce. I'm still working behind the scenes on stuff for the Patreon and for my YouTube channel. But in the meantime, I do also have the VODs from these streams up on my YouTube channel. So that's Eldritch Sophie Paints Minis, if you want to go check that out. And we have actually been uploading some content to the gaming channel. Eldritch Sophie Plays Games, if you want to see the more trimmed down versions of when I absolutely ruin myself by playing horror games. Right, I need some paper towel. Because I thought I was fully set up and I really wasn't, but, you know, who's counting? Certainly not me. Okie dokie, right. Not much I'm going to do with the Mortek crawler itself just yet. I think I'm mostly going to work on all the daft little accessories for it. Because I have more than enough to get on with these in mind as well. I think that's about as in focus as it's really gonna get. So let's just go with that, I guess. That brush is way too big. Let's have a smaller brush if we can find it. Where's my size 2 sable brush at? There it is. Hi Lauren, hope you're well. So same as we started off with last time, let's just get straight into some bone white. Hope all's going well. Oh, thank you. It's getting there. Had a bit of a rough patch recently, but we're coming through the other side of it, so that's the main thing. Just trying to crack on as best as I can, really. Having some issues at the moment with the 3D printers, which is setting us back a little bit. Like, I printed a model more so for myself last night on the big one, and it's came out perfect, but everything else we've printed just seems to be having issues. We're not entirely certain why, but it's nothing we can't resolve eventually. It's just a little frustrating at the moment. Hi, Melu. Hope you're well. We're just cracking on with some bits of the OCR Mortek crawler. Because normally on Mondays we work on big minis. And that's arguably the biggest mini that I've got that's a work in progress at the moment that isn't a commission, so...
We're here for the cult stuff.
Oh, thank you for the resub there, Ember. That's greatly appreciated. Hi, Thin Red Line. Evening to yourself. And hi, Mediocre Hobbies. It's good to see you. Absolutely popping tonight. It's what we like to see. Apologies for the loud noise. Ah, yes, I heard that just now. For the most part, I reckon you were just doing something with the 3D printer, so I decided not to question it, really. Just finished my Leviathan Apothecary. I despise, nay, loathe painting whites. It's, not that about to get louder. Oh, dear. What is it you're doing? Yeah, white is a bit of a tricky one to paint sometimes. I think I'm kind of immune to it, though. Or more immune to the frustrations of it after doing it for my Golden Demon entry this year. Using airbrush to blow the vats. Oh, right, okay. Are you giving the vats a complete deep clean? Because that's not a bad idea. Why is 7 so bad it's every other colour around it and not daring to make a mistake and get it on the white? Yeah, that's true. To be honest with you, I sometimes feel like with whites, the best approach would be to just go the opposite route to how I normally paint, which is I usually take the most dominant colour and paint that first. But when you've got white as the most dominant colour, that's when you start running into that problem. So paint everything else first and then paint the white. Feb was booked an old vat, put new vat in, just had to dust it first. Oh, right, okay. Is this on the Mars or the Saturn? In the Mars, right. In all fairness, I did do a tank clean of it this morning. And that was before you told me the trick on how to do that without damaging the Feb. So if any of that is my fault, I sincerely apologise. Shredded and resonant else. Oh no. Oh. I hope the LCD's not damaged. Because that's not cheap to replace. Initially think of painting my Leviathan Marines as a White Scar army, then I slapped myself and gave my head a rattle while saying don't be ridiculous. Don't know when from though, so no fingy pointing, a little damage, but should be fine. Okay. Okay. I mean, any damage to the LCD is not a good thing. I almost wonder if that's any of the reason why we're having failures at the moment. Yeah, I do have a load of Reavers that I was originally going to paint up for a kill team, painted in white, themed after the Sardaukar from Denis Villeneuve's Dune. And then that idea for a kill team sort of exploded out into, probably it's in that area, managed to get like 95% resin off screen and polished with IPA. Okay. But yeah, that idea for a kill team did sort of expand out into a Phobos only army of like 1,000 points worth, and I'm still sort of on the fence as to whether or not I actually want to do that. But another part of me, just like the more sensible part of me, keeps thinking, are you effing crazy? Can you really be asked to paint that many Marines in white? The answer is not really. Yeah, so here's to hoping that we don't have to buy a new LCD screen for the printer now, because that would suck. That would, like, royally suck. 5 hours and we'll know. Okay. Are you running a test print, or are you just running a quick exposure test? What is it you're doing? Right. So let's add another quick thin coat to the bone white. It's just some of these areas, mostly the sides here. Right, I'm going to let that eyes ahead. Just going to let that dry while we work on something slightly different. I'm thinking I want to do the skulls on the inside and just initially in bone white as well. I'm going to thin that down a little bit more aggressively, just to be able to get into those areas. Whereas meanwhile with this, we could probably prepare the wash that's going to go over the top. So we're just going to get some of our Dale Rowney Emerald Green ink. Give that a nice good shake. Right, I just need a nice soft brush. One that I don't especially care about. I'm just going to dip that into the ink. And coat the entirety of these skulls in it. Now we'll use the bone white colour underneath as like the core foundation. Not so much you have like spectral skulls, but more so that you kind of get the idea that these are actual skulls infused with ghostly energy. Hi, Hi, Lord Virus of Nurgle. How you doing? Exposure test won't show. Also, yay for burning hands. Oof. Please be careful. On my painting, I'm currently painting up various bits of the Mortek crawler. The big catapulty thing for the OC It is Massive Mondays, so we paint massive things on a Monday. And this thing's almost done anyway, so it's a nice little easy win. Now we should be able to just blast out the rest of it today, I would have thought. Oh, glad to hear it. It's certainly a fun little design. There we go. Gotta pop that to one side to let that dry. And again, I could set up the airbrush for this. but I can't really be bothered to. I'll get just as good an effect with using a brush to get this ink on. Now, sometimes it's worth it, sometimes it's really not. Ooh. Resin soaked under the skin. Ooh. Ooh. Please be careful. Make sure you go give your hands a proper scrub down. Right, with the elbow grease and everything, because that's not good. You know, safety first. Good. I don't want to have to take you all the way to A&E again. Help shift, washed an IPA to help shift the thicker stuff. Good idea. Definitely good idea. There we go. Again, just gotta let that do its thing. I'm going to take that exact same ink and I'm going to mix in a little bit of De La Rowney Flow Enhancer. I'm going to try and thin it right down and get some capillary action going. I have no idea if this is going to work. This very well might not. There's only really one way to find out. So put about 3/4 of a pipette of flow enhancer in there. Oh, actually, I've just thought of a much better idea. We'll leave that to one side for now. What might be even better is if I take some titanium white oil paint and get some capillary action going with that. So turn it into an oil wash instead. So a nice big thunk of titanium white oil paint. Should have my little... Yep, there we are. My little rinse pot full of odorless thinners. And we'll really load that in. About 3 pipettes worth. There we go. There we are. I want that to be as almost a liquidy consistency as I can possibly get it. Just letting those thinners totally break down that oil paint. And what we'll do before, what I'll do before I continue on with that is we'll get some bronze out on it first. Wait, no, that's brass, that's not bronze. That's bronze, there we go. use a smaller brush. We'll just dot it into place. Just around some of these highlights of this casket urn thing, whatever you want to call it. And we'll just do this before we get that oil wash on. There we are. And now I just need a brush that I don't mind sacrificing for the purpose of what I'm about to do. Probably this cheap Daler-Rowney brush here, actually. So we'll just recombine the paint and the thinners there because it has separated. Right. Just like that. Like almost no effort, it just flows straight into the shapes on the side of the model, creating dead easy glow effects once we get some of our ink in place. You literally just have to touch it ever so slightly to the area to get pretty much immediate results. And this process, which is very painstaking, would normally take us hours, ends up taking minutes. And it really doesn't take much at all. Just using a little bit of white oil paint and some thinners, very heavily thinned down, just to get that capillary action going, get those runes filled in. It's so satisfying to do as well. Because borderline takes no effort. I just had a thought actually. I wonder if I could speed the process along a little bit. If I mix that paint in there. Nope, apparently not. Never mind. Okay, that's fine. It's worth a try. Is everything okay in there? Because there's a lot of clattering about. Now, if we have a little bit of overspill, I'm just going to have to try and work with it, I think. It's never been very quiet, but I am just a little focused on this at the moment. And there we are. That is so satisfying how quickly that gives results. Just for those playing along over on Instagram. No idea if the camera's ever going to focus on this, but bit of an idea as to where we're up to with it all. And it's going to take like forever to dry, so not much I can do with that right this very second. Right, let's pop that to one side whilst that dries. And what we'll do is we'll work on this bit. Which is nice and straightforward. It's just going to be a load of skeleton horde over the top of that bone white at the moment. give it a good sandstone kind of effect. We won't thin that down. We'll just apply it straight on. We'll try and blot it on wherever we can. Because trying to apply it, like smear it on with the brush, is just going to make it dry a bit strange. Whereas if we blot it on, it'll dry with a much more natural finish. Rather than like quite streaky coffee staining. Right, same again. We'll leave that to one side to fully dry, which will probably take a while. By this point, all this ink should have dried, which means we can work some more on those skulls. And what we'll do for this is we'll start with some livery green. Oh, sorry, no, escopena green, just scorpion green. We'll just grab a smallish dry brush. Dip that in. Right. Just gotta wait for those to dry before I do anything else, which means we can work a little bit more on the actual crawler itself. Which, to be fair, there's not going to be an awful lot that we need to do with it. I think at this point, for the most part, it's just going to be to pick out some of the details with some of the metallics. So we'll just use a little mixture of edge highlighting and stippling, just to get a little bit of variance into the bronze on this big sort of metal plate on the front. I'm just going to go into all of these bronze details here and just do a very rough edge highlight over each of them. Also just to pick out some of those shinier edges. And just make it stand out a little bit. As we go around, we'll do the same with any tools that they're carrying, like this spade here, and the head on this mallet. Oh, thank you for the hydrate there, Ember. That's greatly appreciated. Again, we'll just work around the model as we go. Just picking out little bits of detail. Just here and there. I'll freely admit I'm in two minds completely as to whether or not to apply the verdigris to these bits or to leave it relatively free of that. Just for the impression that this particular piece of machinery is a little bit better maintained. I think if I just keep it relatively random with the stippling, that still gives the impression of the metal and the machinery having worn over time. There we go. I feel like that goes a long way towards doing it. To be honest, I might even just put patina on this front bit here. That way, all the more sort of like finer pieces of the operation of this of the machinery stays nice and clean. I think that might work best. So I'm just gonna get some of my trusty pluck foam. Let's pop it there. Oh, whilst I'm here as well, what I might do is finish off that paint swatch on it. There we are. And then I'll use the cleaner side of the sponge just to wick some of it off and really set the paint into all those areas. Now, just gotta get that let that dry for a bit. And as I say, I'll use this opportunity to paint up that swatch on the top of the paint cap there. There, what we can do now is we can thin down that bronze again. Apart from painting that cartouche in the middle. There we are, just put some of the shine back into that. Which again, just for the purposes of those playing at home. Like, we're pretty much almost there with this thing, which is kind of neat. all that's left now is to do that little bit of cloth in the front. And then probably the base, and then I think it's done. Like, there isn't really much we need to do with the actual... Like, with this actual Mini. It's more like the little bits that come with it. Right. So what we'll do is we'll get a bit more of the ultramarine paint out. Which, again, as I say, slightly ironic because this isn't the colour I would use to paint ultramarines with. Right, we'll thin that down quite nicely so we get good coverage with it. And we'll apply it all over this cloth at the front. And it's going to be far too much of a faff to do the other side of it, so we'll literally just leave it. Leave it to just the front. Will probably do though. Right, clear off. Come on. Is we'll take a little bit of cold grey and we'll use that to fix up these tusks. Just from where some of the bronze and verdigris kind of gone everywhere with it. Same with some of that blue as well from the banner on the front. And what we'll do, once that dries, is we'll shade it down with a bit more Agrax Earth shade, just to tie it back in again. Well, to be fair, I might actually just leave them like that. They do stand out quite nicely. I might just pick out one or two of these highlights just with this cold grey, just to help blend in some of these areas where we're using it to correct where we've accidentally painted over with some of the other colours, because bear in mind we were kind of painting this in a bit of a rush at the time. Now, I don't think it's impacted the overall quality of it. I think it still looks pretty great. But this does just help all that fossilized bone stand out a bit more. Hi Fred Duncan Minis, how you doing? Apologies if I didn't notice you straight away. I was a little engrossed. Yeah, we're not picking out every little detail. Just some of the sharper ones. And where some of the light is naturally falling. So just very carefully going around and edge highlighting some of these sharper bits of bone. And some of these flatter curves. There we go. Slowly getting there. Just working our way around the whole model. Primarily trying not to overdo it, whilst just picking out little areas where it could benefit from a little extra help with some of the highlights. And then just over this little spine in the middle. And then that claw mechanism that's supposed to hold the firing arm into place. There we are. Right. And honestly, I think I'm going to mix some of the bone white and the cold grey together. And we'll work that into just the tips of these tusks here. Just like so. And we'll take a bit more, mix it in with the blue, and that'll give us a nice highlight colour for that. There we are, just exaggerate it a little bit. Gives it that illusion of depth. Right, while we're at it, we'll take our smallest dry brush, work into that bone white there. Okay, and we'll just fix this up and we'll have that done as well. And we'll go back into some of the verdigris paint. Back into our slightly bigger dry brush. We'll work that right the way into those bristles. And we'll just dry brush it over those skulls there. Just giving it that extra ethereal-ish glow to it. We'll do the same with the souls on this cauldron here, except we'll just focus it around their faces. Just like so. Just really helps pick those out, make those stand out a little bit. I'll come back to that one. Well, what we'll do with this is if we take that same brush that we used earlier for dotting in those oils, we'll give the emerald ink a bit of a quick little mix in. just use the same kind of capillary action to coat that with the ink. And the reason we've done the oils over the top first is because the ink will dry translucent, whereas those oils haven't, because the white is quite heavy bodied, very high density in pigment. Hi, time to paint. Good to see you around. We're just painting up the bits for the Mortek crawler for the OC Bone Reapers. We're more or less finished with the actual crawler itself, so now we're just finishing up some of the little bits that go along with it. Oh, thank you, Ember. That's greatly appreciated. And yes, I probably could have done this. Hi, Eiffel Miniforge. Hope you're well too. And yes, I probably could have done this with the airbrush, but as I said before, I can't be bothered with it, and certainly not at this time of night. You can kind of already see how it's gonna look, or how it's hopefully gonna look, when all that ink dries. Hi, Dungeon Mouse. Love that name, that's fantastic. And there we are. Considering how it looked a moment or two ago, I think we've done really well. Just going to continue dousing that in the emerald ink. There we are. And we'll pop that to one side and let that dry before we come back to it and finish it off with a little bit of the verdigris. Right. That means we can finish up pop this away now because I don't need that. Really do need to find a way to diffuse this light somewhat. Right. Next up. Let's go back into some of our bright bronze. And finish up our counterweight here. I just have the cartouche on the front to do. And do both sides. And that's that done. Right. Last bit would be to also do the bronze on the cauldron here. And then if we just scumble that bronze paint all over that already quite textured surface, that gives the impression of it having sort of been beaten into shape. Just like so. Now, it's only a bit of a minor detail, but it's one that makes a lot of difference. Then we're going to go down to a really fine brush and we're going to get some Gauss Blaster Green and we'll just finish off the highlights on all those spell effects. We'll start the skulls. We won't thin this down because of the nature of the paint. It does not need it. I think we've got a little too much of that on the brush there. We're just going to pick out key details of the skulls. We're not going to go crazy with it. Just gives them all a little bit more definition. And again, just adds that whole spooky, ethereal vibe. There we go. Now, it's okay if this is at least a little bit chalky in certain places, because it just sort of adds to the whole sort of made up of spectral energy vibe that we have going with them. And then we're just going to edge highlight these trails as well. Right. Now we have the other side to do. Yeah, this feels like it should take a while, but once you kind of get into the zone, you go by with it very quickly. And it is quite nice to just sort of fall down this little rabbit hole of just highlighting up little skulls in this very vivid pastel green. We're very nearly there. There we go. Got a little thing of skulls done. So we can move that to one side. Counterweight's done as well. That can go over there. So all that's left is just these spooky faces. On the Cauldron of Souls here. And then it's just basing to do. Mustn't forget that there's one on this side as well. There we are. I'm pretty happy with how that's turned out so far. There we go. That just leaves this big thing to deal with. We can use the Gauss Blaster Green here to go back over some of these little flamey details. Hi Bones Minis, how are you doing? That still painted in bronze by accident. There we go. So yeah, really at this point, all there really is left to do is just the basing, which I'm thinking of keeping nice and simple, because there's already quite a lot of detail on the mini itself. So if we keep the basing nice and simple, then that takes a lot of pressure off that way. So, because I'm probably going to need a lot of space to work with, I'm just going to clear off some of that workspace. Hello, Ghost Cat Mini Art. Good to see you. I'm just going to pop those bits over there. To use this, hopefully, as a... Yeah, that's going to be big enough. Right. Okay, I am going to need something to put all this... Ah, that works. So old cheese spread tub will do quite nicely. We're just going to fill that up with PVA. And a little bit of water to thin it down. Right, and what we'll do is we'll paint the entirety of the bottom of the base in this PVA and water mixture. Try and get it into all of these nooks and crannies. Now I'm literally using just an old giant brush that I don't care about anymore to do this, because this is going to absolutely wreck this brush by the time I'm done with it. We want to coat the entire base all over. You're naturally going to get some spots where the glue is going to pull away from itself. Just the sheer nature of this. Because it's drying as we put it on. Not as quickly as super glue would dry though, which is kind of why I've chosen PVA glue. It has a much longer working time. Does mean that once the sand is on here, I'll basically need to leave it alone and not touch it for a while, because that will take almost forever to dry. Hi Kriegsman, how are you doing? Right. Now own 1,000 points Death Company. Awesome, glad to hear it. I have almost an entirely finished Mortek crawler. We're just finishing up the basing on it. Right, here goes nothing. We'll get this spatula and we'll use it to spoon some of this into those harder to reach areas. Again, I've got a big space right towards the back there. Well, actually, more accurately, right towards the front. That's proving to be a little bit trickier to get at. Son helped me build and spray Tycho's card. That's awesome. Oh, that's wonderful. I love it when families work on projects together. Think I'm going to need to place a rival crafts order soon. Starting to run out of some of my main basing materials. Although, I should be able to salvage quite a bit of it just by pouring this back into the tub when I get the chance. Right, that's just going to have to stay there for a while because that's going to take forever to dry. So I never build Gun Walking Death Company if I didn't have to. It's 5 some massive props. Oh, that's fair. Yeah, that's one thing I am thankful for with 10th edition is the fact that they gave Death Company intercessors the ability to take chainswords right out of the gate. Because for whatever reason, it took them forever to do that with 9th edition, which made them borderline pointless, because there's no point having Death Company that are going to walk around shooting things. That's literally not the purpose of them. There we go. And Sophie, use Rival instead of Mick Vixen's miniatures. Yes, but you don't do tubs of basing sand, do you? Or volcanic grit, which is still one of my favourite basing materials, and I'm slightly sad that I ran out of it ages ago and never bothered to replenish it. Great, there we go. Just going to pop that somewhere out of the way to fully cure, etc. I'm actually not entirely certain there is anywhere that's out of the way for it. So my son needs the chaplain, so I need a banner 3D printed soon. Okay. Not gonna lie, banners are a little tricky. Just simply because of how thin the material can be. Thin wispy things don't always come out of 3D printers. Fantastic, but it's doable. Oh yeah, well, absolutely give it a go. We just, want to temper your expectations accordingly. Right. Okay. Don't mind me, just moving some bits around. Just needs Atlas on it, and so it fits a 32mm base. Oh yeah, that should definitely be doable. Right. Hi, Venom 40k. Sorry to say you've actually caught me just as I'm about to finish up. So I'm going to sign off on Instagram now. Bye bye, everyone out there. And I'm going to be heading off on here pretty shortly. We'll just do a quick check, see if we can raid anybody, depending on who's online at this time of night. But a big thank you to everyone who's joined me out tonight. Big thank you to Ember Does a Thing for the resubscribe. It's greatly appreciated. Peace out. Sorry to cut you so late. No, it's absolutely fine. Sounds like you had quite a lot to get on with today. Happy managed to get some points. Yes, for the honkenings. to give to me on Saturday. Just a heads up, we'll be playing Amnesia: The Dark Descent on Saturday. Actually trying to continue on with that. I would have wanted to play Remnant Records, but after the way it nearly fried my CPU on Saturday, probably not a good idea. Question for Sunday. What's your question? Also, I think we're going to go raid Mike Chili. Is it in space? No one can hear you honk. Perhaps. Maybe. But yes, we're going to go raid Mike Chili because he tends to raid us a lot, so we're going to repay the favour now that we actually have the chance to do so. Right, I will be back on Wednesday for Whip Wednesday. So if you have any projects you want to get into the Discord, anything that you happen to want to be working on, do so anytime between now and then. We'll do a big showcase of it here on stream, whilst I just crack on with random bits, to be honest with you. Only place not corrupted by hunks. Space! That... Thank you for choosing the title of the stream for Sunday, because that's fantastic. Right, I'm going to head off, and I will see you all later. Bye!